Good afternoon. Am I audible to all of you? Okay, so I have uploaded some questions and we will try to solve these questions and discuss and see where we get. Okay, where we get to. Okay, so this exercise has total of 15 questions. We'll take up 5 questions at a time. You can see question number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Almost all the questions are from previous XAT papers. Okay. So please start with question number 1 to question number 5. I will give you around 15 minutes. It is approximately 3:35 right now. 3:50 I will start the discussion. Okay. Please solve question 1 to question number 5. Okay, let's check. Are we done with 1 to 5? Question number 1 to 5? Yeah, okay. So what in the first question what does he say? He tells you that in Asia, palm trees are non-native. They are non-native means they are not naturally available in Asia. Okay, so they must have been brought from somewhere else, and that is why the tree's flowers have traditionally been pollinated by hand, which has kept palm fruit productivity unnaturally low. But then what happens is that when weevils, which are known to be efficient pollinators of palm flowers, when the weevils were introduced in 1980, then the productivity increased by up to 50% in some areas, but then it decreased sharply after 4 years, that is in 1984. Okay, so initially what happened? Initially, when weevils were introduced for 4 years, the productivity increased sharply, almost 50%. But then after that, it decreased sharply in 1984. So now the question is, which of the following statements, if true, would best explain the 1984 decrease in productivity? So why do you think this decrease happened? What is the reason for the decrease in this productivity? Yes, it has to be number three. Very good. Rapid increases in productivity tend to deplete trees of nutrients needed for the development of the fruit producing female flowers. This can be a very, very valid reason why, after 4 years, the productivity decreased sharply in 1984. This can be a very, very valid reason. Any other option comes to your mind? Any other option you would like to test? Slowly, slowly, we will increase the level. Okay, slowly, slowly, we will increase the level. Question number 2. This is a conversation between a physician and a patient. What does the physician tell us? He tells us that the hormone melatonin, it has shown promise as a medication for sleep disorders. But because I don't know the long-term side effects of melatonin, okay, even though it has shown promise, we don't know the long-term side effects. That is why I cannot recommend its use at this time. This is what the physician says. Now, patient is saying, listen, your position is inconsistent with your practice because you prescribe many medications that you know have serious side effects. You know that they have serious side effects, still you prescribe those medicines. So, the concern about side effects cannot be the real reason that you will not prescribe melatonin. This is what the patient says. If you evaluate the patient's arguments, what is the flaw in his argument? What is the flaw in the patient's argument? Very good, very good. Yes, the flaw in the patient's argument is that known risks can be weighed against known benefits, but unknown risks cannot. So We know that the physician tells us. He tells us that long-term side effects of melatonin are unknown. So he does not know what kind of side effect will happen. So how can he evaluate whether the side effect is going to be more or less than the benefit that the user will derive from melatonin? Whereas in other cases, what is the usual practice? The usual practice is that he probably he probably prescribes the medicine after evaluating, even if that medicine has side effects. But if the benefits are more than the side effects, then he can safely prescribe that medicine. So yes, the patient has failed to take into account the fact that the long-term side effects of melatonin are unknown, and that is why the physician is unable. He's unable to make a judgment or take a call whether it is going to be more beneficial or whether it's going to be more harmful. Yes, number five is the correct answer. Anybody has any other thought? Okay, good. You were confused between four and five. Yes, Puneet, is the side effects. If the side effects of a medication can take some time to manifest it themselves. So, okay, it will take time, but there will be side effects. You know what side effects would be there, isn't it? But over here, the question is you don't know. Even if the side effect is not, manifest immediately, even if it does not appear immediately, it appears, let's say, after 6 months or 1 year, but you know for sure what is going to be the side effect. Then you can evaluate whether the benefits are more than the effects. If the benefits are more than the effects, then the physician can prescribe that medicine. So whether the side effect is going to happen immediately or it is going to take time, that is not very relevant. What we need to know is whether there is a side effect and what is the side effect. Okay. Okay. This is question number two. Let's come to question number three. This one is very, very easy. He says, in recent years, many cabinet makers they have been winning acclaim as artists, but because furniture must be useful, okay, that is why cabinet makers, whenever they make cabinets, they always have an eye. They make cabinets with an eye to practical utility of their products, and for this reason, cabinet making is not an art. Okay, so in fact, he's what is he assuming? What is he assuming? What is the assumption? Isn't he assuming that anything that is made for practical utility cannot be art? Isn't that his assumption? So if I ask you which of the following is an assumption that supports drawing the conclusion above, for the reason given for that conclusion, what should be the answer? It has to be number four. Yes, he is assuming. See, he's no, number three is not right. Number three is not right, Priyanka. Number three, the opinion here. What cabinet makers should or should not do, that is an opinion. That is not an assumption. Assumption means that he is not telling us, but we understand that this is what he is thinking. He's saying he's saying that cabinet makers they look at the use. If you look at the use, then it is not art. This is what he says. Cabinet makers they look at the practical utility of the product, but for this reason means if you look at the practical utility of a product, then it is not art. So basically he's trying to say because of this, cabinet making is not art. Cabinet making is not art. So what is he assuming? He is assuming that anything. Option 4 is directly mentioned. No, it is not directly mentioned. This is what we are. See, this is what we understand. It is not directly mentioned, Arpita. Where is it directly mentioned? Tell me. He tells you that cabinet making is not an art because cabinet makers, they look at practical utility. So he's assuming that if anything has practical utility, then it will not be considered an art. This is what he's assuming, isn't it? So that is why number four, an object is not an art object if its maker pays attention to the object's practical utility. This is what he is assuming. This is what he is assuming. Okay. Any other doubts? Anybody has any doubt? Arpita, number one. Okay, number one also. What is the assumption? Some furniture is made to be placed in museums where it will not be used by anyone. But this is not the assumption. This is not his assumption. Please understand. An assumption it will always support. An assumption will always support the conclusion. What is the conclusion? Conclusion is cabinet making is not art. Okay, cabinet making is not art. This is the conclusion. And number four is supporting that conclusion. Why cabinet making is not art? Because if the maker of the object pays attention to the practical utility, then it is not art. So cabinet makers, they look at the practical utility. That is why the product is not art. Number one has no relevance. Some furniture is made to be placed in museums where it will not be used by anyone. So even though it will not be used by anyone, please understand, even if it is not used by anyone, but furniture in general is talking about furniture in general, not two or three specific pieces of furniture that has been made to be placed in museum. Okay, it should be four. I'll move to question number four. Question number four. Last year, the rate of inflation was 1.2%. Okay, but the current year rate is 4%. So from here, we can conclude that inflation is on an upward trend and the rate will be still higher next year. Which of the following will most seriously weaken the conclusion above? What will weaken the conclusion? Okay, number one कैसे weaken करेगा? How will number one weaken it? In fact, it will support what he's saying. When you when you calculate figures on the basis of a representative sample, figures are always calculated on the basis of representative sample. It is not practically possible to include all of the available data. That is unrealistic. That is not possible. So if he is calculating figures based on representative sample of economic data, it is representative sample. That means it is a perfect sample. If it is the perfect sample, then it will strengthen his conclusion and not weaken it. Number one is wrong. Did you understand? People who marked number one as the answer. Mayank, whenever you calculate any figure, you always take a representative sample. It's not practically possible to include all of the data available. That's not possible. That is not how figures are calculated. For example, when we want to calculate figures, let's say wholesale price index. There is something called wholesale price index and retail price index. For example, when you calculate Sensex, there is a representative, companies. There are 30 companies that constitute the Sensex. Why don't we take every single company and then we compute the Sensex? That's practically not possible. We have to consider whatever is mentioned. Please understand, Mayank. Please understand, Mayank. Whenever you calculate, this is common sense. Even if it's not possible in real life, if it is nonsense, if it is nonsense, then how can we consider it to be good? Okay, it is nonsense. How can you use all the available data? That's impossible. And plus, he's telling you that this sample is representative. It is representative means everything that is important is here. So no, number one is not right. Number one is strengthening his conclusion. It's not weakening the conclusion, it is strengthening his conclusion because representative sample means that everything that is important is included. Okay? Number one is not right. So what should be the answer? He says that inflation is on an upward trend. There is an upward trend. How can I negate what he's saying? Number four. Okay. No, Puneet. No. Number four also will strengthen his conclusion that inflation is on an upward trend. Please understand. Last year, the inflation rate was 1.2%. So last year, let us say 2018. 2018 it was 1.2% and 2019 it is 4. This is what he's saying that it has increased and it will increase further. So even if 2018 it was the lowest in 10 years. It was lowest in 10 years. What happened before this, that is immaterial. What happened before 2018 is immaterial. From 2018, there is a rise from 1.2% to 4% in 2019, and based on this, he's saying there is an upward trend. Okay, so even if 1.2% represented a 10-year low, that is immaterial. There is still an upward trend. There is still a rise. So number four also is not right. What should be the answer? Number five? No. Number five does not have any impact. Government intervention cannot affect the rate of inflation. This is opinion. This is just an opinion. It does not weaken the conclusion. Answer is two. Answer is number two. I'll tell you why. Last year, a dip in oil prices brought inflation temporarily below its recent stable annual level of 4%. So what he's trying to say is that the inflation rate is stable at 4%. It is stable at 4%. Over the years, it has been 4%. Last year, something happened, inflation rate dipped, but now it is again come back to 4%. So over the years, if you look at the years, over the years, it has been 4%. Last year, because there was dip in oil prices, it came down to 1.2%. And now it has again come back to 4% to the stable level. So in effect, I'm saying that no, there is no upward trend. In fact, inflation is stable. There is no upward trend. Inflation is stable. That is why number two is the answer. I am weakening his conclusion. Did you understand? Anybody who did not understand, please ask. Okay, very good. Let's come to number five. Question number five. This one also is not difficult. He tells you that this company Trancorp Trancorp transports all its goods to Berlin Island by truck. And there's a bridge. The trucks have to cross a bridge, and this bridge is congested, and trucks typically spend hours in traffic. Okay. Trains can reach more quickly than trucks, and freight cars can be transported to Berlin by barges that typically cross the channel in an hour. So his suggestion is that you use trains, you use the trains, and you transport the goods till that channel, till that river, that channel, and there you can load these goods on barges. Barges are like tow ships, tow boats. You can load it on barges, and you can very easily cross the channel in 1 hour. Therefore, if you want to reduce the shipping time, Transcorp plans to switch to trains and barges to transport goods to Berlin. Okay? Did you understand this? What he's trying to say? Because there's a lot of traffic on the bridge, so he's telling you that get the goods by train till that channel. From there, transfer the goods to the barges, and the barges will help in crossing the channel within an hour. So you will not be stuck on the bridge, and therefore you'll be able to reduce shipping time. The question is, which of the following would be most important to know in determining whether Transcorp's plan, if implemented, is likely to achieve its goal. So whether shipping time will reduce or not reduce, what is the most important thing you would like to know? Number two. Some people have marked number two. Okay. Some people have marked number one. Okay. Expensive bhi agar ho, even if we are not concerned about cost factor, Arpita, he he wants to reduce shipping time. Probably it will be costly or it will be cheaper. That is not the question. Question is whether the shipping time will reduce or not reduce. So number one is irrelevant. Okay. Now number two, Mohit, whether there are there boats that can make the trip between the mainland and Berlin faster than barges? So how is it going to impact? You are talking about a third entity boats. He is saying use trains and barges and you will reduce shipping time. So answer करो कि reduce होगा कि नहीं होगा? Whether the company will be able to achieve the goal or not. If if let's say the boats are there, and if the boats, so what, Mayank? Even if you replace the barges by boats, barges with boats, barges also save you time. Yes, see, Mayank, यही है. You are saying faster shipping time. I am saying अभी जो time है, you have to reduce that time. By how much reduction? We can always check a more better alternative. Priyanka, that is what I'm saying. We can always check a more better alternative. But even if I am able to reduce the shipping time 10 minutes, मैंने 10 minutes reduce कर दिया, then barges will also work. Yes, I want to reduce it by 45 minutes. I can use boats also. Yes. So boats, or in this case, boat is immaterial. First, find out whether you are able to reduce the shipping time when you transport it through trains and barges. If you are, then you will implement this plan. And yes, there may be other things that will further reduce the shipping time. That's also possible. So again, number two looks good, but it is not the correct answer. So what should be the answer? Number three. Yes, it should be number three. It is very important to know whether loading the freight cars onto barges is very time consuming. Because see what happens. If you use trucks, then you load the goods once. Okay, and then even if the truck is stuck on the bridge, there is no second loading time. But now you will use trains. First you will load it on the train, then you will unload it, and then you will again load it back on barges. So this loading and unloading, whatever time you want to save, is it, is it the time saved, is it more than the time taken for loading and unloading? If it takes you 3 hours for loading and unloading, then how will you save time? How will you reduce shipping time? You'll come back to square one. In fact, you'll be worse off. That is why number three is the best answer. Is it clear? Everyone, anybody has any doubt in any question for that matter from 1 to 5? Question number 1 to 5. Anybody has any issue? Option number 4, Priyanka, for question number 5. Question number 5. Okay. Let's see. Whether the average number of vehicles traveling over the bridge into Berland has been relatively constant in recent years. So, what will happen? Whether the vehicles have increased, decreased, or remain average. The fact of the matter is that you spend around an hour on the bridge. You spend around an hour on the bridge. Okay, it can be because of any reason. It can be because of any reason. If it might be low, then traffic will reduce. So, how will this impact? So, trucks can also reach at times. Okay, average number of vehicles have is it constant? Average number of vehicles traveling over the bridge into Berland, whether it has been relatively constant in recent years. So, if what you're trying to say is that if they have been constant, if they have been constant, then same traffic is going to remain. If the average number of vehicles have gone down, then there's going to be less traffic. That is what you're trying to say. You're trying to say that, okay? So, okay, yeah, but Priyanka, I think you have changed the question. You have changed the question. Question is, if you implement the plan, if you implement the train and the barges plan, then are you going to save? Are you going to reduce shipping time? That is the question. Now you are attacking another aspect. You when see, please understand, when you are making plan A, when you are making plan A, you are consisting something to be you are assuming that something is constant. And what is constant? You assume that traffic on the bridge is constant, and now you make a plan that we are going to change and we are going to use trains and barges to transport our goods. Now, whatever is constant, you want to change it. If you want to change it, then entire plan will change. So number 4 will not work. Number 4 is attacking some other question. Okay. Okay. So no common sense. Please understand, Mayank. That is common sense. Uh, See, please. He is telling you that the sample is representative. If the sample is representative, please understand. If the sample is representative means what? That everything that is important is included. So everything that is important, if it is included, then whether it includes all the data or just a part of the data, that becomes immaterial, isn't it? It is representative. Representative means everything that is important is included. That is why number 1 is not right. Okay. So now let's come to the next 5 questions. Number 6. Question number 6 to question number 10. Please take a look. I'll give you 10-15 minutes. Please take a look. And let me know when you're done. Okay. Okay, that is sufficient time. Should we check? Okay. Question number six. Question number six. The commentator tells you that the theory of trade retaliation. What does it state? The theory of trade retaliation states that countries that close out of any of another country's markets, they should also close some of their own markets to the other country so that the other country is pressurized to open the market. Okay, this is what the theory states. If every country acted according to this theory, no country would trade with any other. Okay, this is what it states. Based on this, is asking you the commentator's argument relies on which of the following assumptions? What is he assuming? Yes, number four, he is assuming. Otherwise, the entire thing does not work. For the entire thing to work, you have to assume that if there are two countries, at least one of these two countries has some market close to the other. It has to be number four. Absolutely. Yes, it relies on the assumption that for any two countries, at least one has some market close to the other. Otherwise, the theory does not work at all. Is this clear? Question number six, answer is four. Anybody has any doubt, please ask. Many people mark number one as the answer. Many people say that no country actually acts according to the theory of trade retaliation. But that is not the assumption. Number one cannot be the assumption. Okay? He is talking about theory. What happens practically, Mohit, please understand, what happens practically, that is not that is not an assumption that he has used for his for for stating his theory. So number one is what happens practically. That may be right, that may not be right. Did you understand, Mohit? He never assumes. He never assumes that no country actually acts. He says that if one country has closed out uh, one market, then it should retaliate by closing its market to the other country. Whether they actually do this or they do not do this, that is not the assumption. Okay, so that is why one is not right. Is it clear now, for especially for people who marked one as the answer? Question number seven. I'll move to question number seven. Number seven, although parapsychology is often considered a pseudoscience. Pseudoscience, you know what is pseudo? Pseudo means semi or fake. So parapsychology is considered to be kind of, partial or fake science. It's not complete science. It's kind of fake science. Although people consider parapsychology as a pseudoscience, it is a genuine scientific enterprise. Why? Why is the author saying it is a genuine scientific enterprise? Because it uses scientific methods such as controlled experiments and statistical tests of clearly stated hypotheses to examine the questions it raises. Very, very easy. The conclusion above is properly drawn if which of the following is assumed. So, what is he assuming? He is assuming that if anything uses scientific methods such as controlled experiments and statistical tests, it automatically becomes a genuine scientific enterprise, isn't it? It has to be for. It has to be for. Any field of study that employs scientific methods is a genuine scientific enterprise. Arpita, you mark number three. Number three is not right. Any enterprise that does not use controlled experiments and statistical tests is not genuine science. This is not this what happens when an enterprise does not use controlled experiments and statistical tests, that we don't know. We just know when it uses, then what happens. When it does not use, what happens? There can be millions of possibilities. Okay, that is why number three is not right. Yes, Priyanka, we can check one. Is the author's conclusion that if a field of study can conclusively answer the questions it raises, then it is a genuine science? No, this is not the assumption. According according to this passage, according to this passage, okay, if you are using scientific methods, and you are using controlled experiments and statistical tests. Whether you are able to conclusively answer the question or not, it's not mentioned anywhere. If you are using scientific methods, then if you are able to answer the questions or not able to answer the questions in both the situations, you are indulged in a genuine scientific enterprise. Whether your genuine scientific enterprises it bears fruit, whether it bears fruit, whether it gives you results or it does not give you results, that is immaterial. So number one is wrong. Okay, he never says that it has to answer the question. Only then it will become a genuine science. No, it will become a genuine science when you use scientific methods. Okay. So question number 7, answer should be 4. If you have doubts, ask. Anything you did not understand, please ask. Okay. Number 8. Question number 8. One way to judge the performance of a company is to compare it with other companies. This technique is called benchmarking, and it permits the manager of a company to discover better industrial practices and can provide a justification for the adoption of good practices. Okay. Any of the following is true is a valid reason for benchmarking the performance of a company against companies with which it is not in competition rather than against competitors, except. So you have to understand this question. He has written the question in a very complicated way. What is the question? What is he saying? What is he asking you to do? What isn't supporting the question? Comparing with non-competitors. I didn't get it. That is what I'm saying. He has written the question in a very complicated way. So he's telling you what, which of the following, which of the following proves to you, which of the following proves to you that you should not compete, or you should not compare your performance with those companies that you are not in competition with. Okay. Yes. What is he telling you? All He's telling you all of the following are valid reasons for benchmarking the performance of a company against companies with which it is not in competition rather than against competitors, except. What should be the answer? Mayank, you mark 5. Okay. Yes, it should be number 5. It should be number 5. It should be number 5. So, which of the following proves to you that you should not compare your performance with non competitors? Which of the following proves to you that you should not compare your performance with non competitors? It is number 5. It is number 5. You should compare your performance with your competitors because the success of good companies is due to adoption of practices that take advantage of special circumstances of their products or markets. Okay. So if there are special circumstances in your products and markets, you should compare your performance with your competitors and not with outsiders. Did you understand? All the others, 1, 2, 3, and 4, all the others, 1, 2, 3, and 4, is actually telling you that you should compare your performance with those people that are not from your industry. They are your non-competitor. No, they are your, you are not in competition with them. So number 5 is the only one which is telling you that no, compare your performance with only those people who are in your same industry, who are your competition. 1, 2, 3, and 4 tell you that you have to compare your performance with those people who are you are not in competition with. So that is why they are not correct. It's only number five which tells you that no, compare your performance not with outsiders, but with those companies that are in the same industry, because your industry has special circumstances. So it makes your industry kind of different. So you cannot compare your performance with the performance of those people who are outside your industry. That is why number five is right. Priyanka and Puneet, did you understand? Please check. You are stuck. Okay. Forget the word accept. Puneet, forget the word accept. Accept bhul jao. If you forget accept, then what do you read? Which of the following proves to you that you should benchmark your performance against non-competitors? Non-competitors, that means people whom you're not in competition with. कौन कौन बोलेगा? I mean, tell me, which options tell you that you should compare your performance with non-competitors? One, two, three, and four. When you read it, C tells you. Number three, only benchmarking against non-competitors will reveal practices that would aid in beating competitors. Managers are more receptive to new ideas that they find outside the industry. Getting inside information from your competitors is difficult. Okay. उसके बाद comparisons with competitors. When you compare your comparison with competitors, you will focus on those practices which you already employ. So one, two, three, and four. One, two, three, and four. They all are proving to you that you should compare. They are giving you reasons why you should compare your performance with those people who are not in competition with you, who are not in your industry, who are your non-competitors. Did you get this? Okay. Now he's telling you accept. Now add accept, which means now you have to do the opposite. You have to prove that no, when you want to benchmark your performance against those people with whom you are in competition, with whom you have competition. It is only number five. Okay. Is this clear now? Okay, let's come to number nine. Let's come to question number nine. If this is clear, doesn't one also tell the same? No, no, Priyanka. Number one says that listen, there is no point comparing your performance with your competitors. You should compare your performance with outsiders because your competitor will be using the same policy that you are applying. So, what is the point? This is what number one is saying. Okay. Is this clear? Should I move to the next one? Okay. Number nine is very easy. The cost of producing radios, the cost of producing a radio in country Q is 10% less than the cost of producing in country Y. Even after transportation fees and rail tariffs are added, it is still cheaper for a company to import radios from country Q to Y than to produce it in country Y. So, which of the following will best support the statement above, if true, best supports which of the following assertions? Based on this, what can you conclude? Number one, कैसे? Three. It is three. Yes. You can conclude that the tariff, whatever taxes, import taxes होंगे ना, the tariff will be less than 10% of the cost of manufacturing the radio in country Y. If it is more than 10%, then what is the point? What is the point? Then what is the point of importing? It's better that you produce it here. You are going to. You are going to get it cheaper only and only when the tariffs also are less than 10%. Otherwise, if the tariffs are more than 10%, then all the gains that you get by getting it from country Q, all those gains finish. They vanish. It should be number three. Number one, Priyanka, you mark number one. Labor costs in country Q are 10% below those in country Y. Okay, so why are you concerned only about one cost? Labor cost is the only cost of production? No. If labor cost is 10% below, but other costs are 100% higher, then o- overall the cost will be higher. Okay. So number one looks at only one of the costs. That is why it is not the correct answer. Okay. Let's come to 10. Question number 10. Although the discount stores in Goreville's central shopping district are expected to close within 5 years as a result of competition from a spend less discount department store that just opened, those locations will not stay vacant for long. In the 5 years since the opening of Colson's, a non discount department store, a new store has opened at the location of every store in the shopping district that closed because it could not compete with Colson's. Which of the following will most seriously weaken the argument? What will weaken the argument? Tell me. Number one. No, think. Uh, Wait, where were we? Okay. Could you please explain the passage? Yes. What is he trying to say? He's saying that he's talking about two situations. Am am I audible to all of you? Okay, he's talking about two situations. Okay, what happens is in one situation there is a store. That store is a discount store. Okay, there is a discount store called Spendless Discount Store, and in this location where Spendless Discount Store is located, then all the other stores are closed. They are expected to close because they will not be able to compete. They will not be able to compete. But then he's saying that okay, even if they will close, these locations will not stay vacant for long. Other people will come. Other people will come. This is one situation. Okay. Now he's telling you that there's another store called Colson's. Colson's is a non-discount department store. Colson's is a non-discount department store. And this department store is in the same place. It is Gorwell Central Shopping District. So Colson is a non-department store. Okay. So he says in the 5 years since the opening of Colson's, a non-discount department store, a new store has opened at the location of every store in the shopping district that closed because it could not compete with Colson's. So he tells you that Colson's is a non-discount department store, and all the stores that closed because they could not compete with Colson's, those stores are going to now get rented again. Other stores also will come. Other stores also will come. Okay? Did you understand this? He's talking about two different stores. One is Penless discount store, and another is Colson non-discount store. And he's telling you that many stores went out of business because they could not compete with Penless discount store, and many stores, went out of business because they could not compete with Colson's, which is a non-discount department store. And even though many businesses have shut down, but these locations will not remain vacant. More stores will open. This is what he's trying to say. Okay, but his conclusion. What is his conclusion? Tell me. Number five. No. First, you have to understand what is his conclusion. Only then you can weaken the argument. Yes. His conclusion is that stores will close. His conclusion is that stores will close. Stores will close. That is what is his conclusion. Even though the stores that close, the locations that become vacant, they will not remain vacant for long. But the crux of his argument is that the stores will close because they will not be able to compete. Because they will not be able to compete. So based on this, how will you weaken the argument? How will you prove that the stores will not close? Number five, many stores in the central shopping district sell types of merchandise that are not available at either Spendless or Colson's. So there is no competition. Competition तो है ही नहीं. Why? Please understand. Number five looks good, but there is no competition. Bayang, but there is no competition. He's telling you that the discount stores will close as a result of competition. They will close as a result of competition. So it is very important that they sell the same product. If there is no competition, if they are selling different products, then it is not applicable. This conclusion is not applicable. Number five is not right. Did you understand? Yes, Mohit. Number two is the answer. Answer is going to be number two. He is telling you that the stores will close, but if I prove to him that the stores that have opened in the central shopping district, since Colson's have opened, they have been discount stores. If they have been discount stores, remember they will be able to compete. Why will they be able to compete? Because Colson's is a non-discount department store. Colson's is a non-discount department store. So the prices are going to be higher. And whatever new stores open, they are going to be discount stores. So they will offer discounts. Prices are going to be cheaper. They will be able to sustain. They will be able to survive the competition. They will not close. Number two will weaken his argument. His argument is that new stores will close. But if I can prove that no, they will not close, even if they have competition, and the competition is that they sell the same products, but Colson does not give discount, and all the new stores that will open, they will give discount, so they will survive. Answer is two. Please check. Did you understand? Okay. Now, Mayank, please understand. In this central shopping district, in this in this central shopping district, please understand, you are talking about spendless discount department store. Okay. So if there are two stores, one is Spendless Discount Department Store and another is Colson, which is a non-discount department store, and I open a store which is a discount store. If I open a store which is a discount store, I will be able to compete with both of them. Yes or no? So even though in number two, I am not talking about Spendless Discount Department Store, but I'm still addressing that store because the new stores will be discount stores. So we will be in competition. Yes. Okay. I get your point. I get your point. What you're trying to say is, although the discount stores, what you're trying to say is the stores that have closed, they are discount stores. That is what you're trying to say. Okay. Now see what he's doing. He's actually talking about a situation that happened. This is one situation that happened. He is taking this situation as a standard and he's trying to apply it to a second situation. Because the discount stores in Goreville Central Shopping District could not compete with Spendless Discount Store, that is why they closed. That is why they closed. Okay. And then he comes to Colson, which is a non-discount department store. Not those shops that closed because because they could not compete with Colson's non-discount department store. Um Even though new stores will come, they will also close. Now I have to prove to him that no, they will not close. How will I prove to him that they will not close? They will not close because of competition. Did you understand? They will not close because of competition because they will be discount stores. They will be able to compete with Colson's. Okay. So he is taking one situation and he believes that the same thing will happen at the second situation. So the moment I say that no, it's not true because Colson is a non-discount store and all the new stores they are going to be discount stores. They will be able to compete. That is why two is right. And your question, Mohit, is five strengthening the argument? Five has no impact on the argument. Five has no impact on the argument because when you talk about those people who are not in competition, then it has no relevance. Okay. Okay. Would you like to solve five more? Yes. Okay. So question number 11 to question number 15. 11 to 15. Please start and let me know when you're done. Okay. Let's check if everybody has completed. Then let's check question number 11. So what is it telling you? He says that in Hume's eyes, productive labor was the greatest asset of a country. Okay. And foreign trade was valuable because it enabled a nation to use more and more varied labor than would otherwise be possible. But commerce was of mutual advantage to the nations involved, not a benefit to one and injury to other. So commerce, foreign trade was mutually advantageous. Why? It tells you the increase of riches and commerce in any one nation, instead of hurting, commonly promotes the riches and commerce of all its neighbors. The reason is the emulation in rival nations. serves to keep industry alive in all of them. So remember, last line is the reason why why commerce, instead of hurting, commonly promotes the riches and commerce of all its neighbors. The reason is there's emulation in rival nations, and this keeps the industry alive. This is important. Based on this, he's asking you question number one. The importance of foreign trade in the eyes of Hume was due to what? Why was foreign trade important? Because it enabled a nation to use more, yes, use more and more varied labor. So it allowed application of varied labor force. Number five is right. Some people mistakenly mark number four. It allowed varied application. So there's a huge difference between it allowed varied application and it allowed application of varied labor force. Surplus labor तो हो नहीं सकता. Surplus labor is not right. He never says that this labor is surplus. He says that uh, the application is varied than would have otherwise be possible. That means if you don't have foreign trade, then probably all the people are agriculture based. But when you have foreign trade, then some of them will switch to, let's say, making machine guns. Some of them will switch to making furnitures because these products can be exported. So there is going to be a varied application of varied labor force. Okay, Mohit, that is why one is not right. The last line is saying the emulation. Emulation means copy. When there are rival nations, there are two rival nations. Okay, if they are involved in commerce, if they are involved in trade, then one will copy the other and the other will copy the other. So this emulation, this copying keeps competition alive. This is what keeps industry alive. And if industry is alive, then it will promote riches. It will promote riches. If you are working, continuously working, if you are involved in industry, then you will earn money, isn't it? A country that does not do anything, how will it earn money? So number 11 answer is 5. If anybody has doubt, please ask. Number 12 from the same passage, as per Hume, free trade between nations was made advantageous by the outcome of what? So the question is, what is the reason? What is the reason that free trade becomes advantageous? The reason is number two. Many people mark one. No, number one is the outcome. Number one is the consequence. Number one is the consequence. The reason. What is the reason for this consequence? Question is, free trade between nations was made advantageous by the outcome of. By the outcome of what? That means, what is the reason? What is the reason that makes free trade between nations advantageous? The reason is there is emulation of industrial activity by different nations. It is number two. Please understand this. Priyanka, you marked one. Did you understand? Number one is not the reason. Number one is the result. The result of emulation of industrial activity is that there is going to be mutual increases in riches and commerce. So the question is, no, the question is free trade is advantageous by the result of what? What is the result? By the result of what? So that means, what is the reason? The reason is there is emulation. Did you understand? Anybody has any doubt? Answer should be number two. Number one is not right. Please check if you have a doubt. Please check and let me know. Did you understand question number 11 and 12? So see what happens in that. I am deliberately showing you that questions, and Next session also, tomorrow also, I'll show you that questions. What they do is that they play with words. They play with words. They look very simple. They look very simple, but what they ask something very different. So he's telling you free trade. Free trade is advantageous by the outcome of means because of, by the outcome of means because of what? Why free trade advantageous? What is the reason? Free trade is advantageous because there is emulation of industrial activity, and because there is emulation of industrial activity, the advantage is that there is mutual increases in riches and commerce. So number one is the advantage. Number one is the advantage or the consequence. Question is, how did you come to this the consequence? What made you come to this consequence? Okay. Okay. Mohit, what is the connection of labor and commerce? Labor and commerce? Commerce means trade. If you want to indulge in trade, you will require labor, isn't it? How will you trade if you don't have any labor? Labor will produce, and whatever you produce, you will trade. Without labor, how can you trade? Okay, Mohit. Now it's clear. 11 and 12. Okay, number 13. I'm moving to question number 13. The yoga system is divided into two parts, Hatha Yoga and Raja Yoga. And he says that Hatha Yoga, it deals with the physiological part of man with a view to establish his health and train his will. Okay. Hatha Yoga, the process is so difficult that only a few resolute souls go through all the stages of its practice. Many people have failed and some of them have even died. Okay. It is therefore strongly denounced by all the philosophers. In fact, the Sankaracharya, he also said that the system of Hatha Yoga was intended for those whose worldly desires are not pacified or uprooted. So, according to Sankaracharya, Hatha Yoga is for those people who have not been able to satisfy the worldly desires. They are not content, okay, or they have not been able to eliminate their worldly desires. This is what he's telling you. So, which of the following is true? Most substantially strengthens the idea given in the passage. The idea given in the passage is that Hatha Yoga is very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. It has to be number 5. Yes. The percentage of students who have successfully learned Raj Yoga is more than percentage of students who have successfully learned Hatha Yoga. That is how I will strengthen the view that Hatha Yoga is very difficult. Yes, it is number 5. Anybody has any other option? Number 14 also is based on the same passage. Which of the following option best reflects Sankaracharya's comments on Hatha Yoga? So, what did Sankaracharya mean? What did Sankaracharya mean when he passed comments on Hatha Yoga? It has to be number 1, that Hatha Yoga is for those whose worldly desires are not placated. Absolutely. Placated means pacified, soothed. Has to be number 1. This one was easy. Okay. And finally, we come to question number 15. Question number 15. Nature lovers are attracted to forests and nature parks. Just look at the number of people visiting the Corbett National Park. Which of the following exhibits a pattern of reasoning least dissimilar? Least dissimilar means most similar. Which is the most similar? Okay, most similar to the one exhibited in the argument above. Which is the most similar? It is application based question. Application based question. Okay, this is an application based question. So please understand parallel reasoning. Use parallel reasoning. Mohit, I have people pronouncing Hath as Hath. I don't know the pronunciation. Probably it is Hath Yoga. Yes, Hath Yoga. You are right. You are right. You are right. It is Hath. Hath in the sense with. Hath Yoga. Yes, I have also heard that. Okay. So, question number 15, whenever they ask you which is least similar, most similar, remember they are asking for parallel reasoning. So, what happens? Pattern check karo. First, he talks about this is the conclusion. पहले conclusion है. First conclusion, and then he gives you evidence for his conclusion. He gives you the reason on which he has based his conclusion. Okay? What is going to be the answer? Same pattern किसमें है? Number 3. It is in number 3. First, he gives you the conclusion. Fleas must thrive in warm environments. During warm weather, my dog suffers from fleas more so during cooler weather. So first he gives you the conclusion and then he gives you the reason. Number 3 is most similar. Okay, many people think it is 5. Priyanka, you have marked 5. You have marked 5. Even though he's saying the same thing, but the pattern is opposite. First, first he gives you the reason and then he gives you the conclusion. So he has reversed the order. Priyanka, in number 5. Did you understand what he has done? He has reversed the order in number 5. So when he says alcoholics and teetotalers, you know what teetotalers? Yeah, you must be aware. Teetotalers are people who don't consume alcohol at all. So alcoholics and teetotalers, they appear at the same restaurant at the same time of the day. So you will see many of them together. Therefore, alcoholics are teetotalers. And for alcoholics and teetotalers must be hungry at the same time. So he first states the reason and then he forms the conclusion. Whereas in the original argument, the conclusion is first stated and then he moves to the reason. That is why 5 is not right. It is number 3. All right, all of you. Okay. So that's it for today. That's it for today. When we meet tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock. Tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock, I will show you some more questions from Zach. Decent scores, see anything that is above 75-80% is a decent score. Arpita. Okay. Okay. So tomorrow again we'll meet from 10 to 12 and I'll show you some more questions. Most of the questions would be from that papers. Okay. So that's it. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow morning. If you have any doubt, then you can please tell me. Otherwise, if you want to log off, you can log off. Take care.
Music